Good day, and welcome to the Hidden Source News, where we bring you the best show breaking down fight predictions and Draftkings picks for you. As always, please subscribe to the channel to help us grow. We're now at UFC Fight Night, Bonfim vs. Brown, which will be held on November 8th at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. This card is a tough one, filled with close matchups that could turn into an explosive night. Now, let's get down to it. Main event, welterweight division, Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown. In this bout, we have a striker in Randy Brown going up against a well-rounded fighter in Gabriel Bonfim. This one is tough because of its volatility. Brown has the power to knock anyone out and a solid submission game, while Bonfim is a capable striker who can also take the fight to the ground and finish with a submission. I'll slightly lean toward Randy Brown to take the win, but this is a very close fight and Bonfim definitely has a path to victory. Be careful when hedging your bets. On Draftkings, I'll have 35% of my lineups on both fighters. Flyweight division, Matt Schnell versus Joseph Morales. Here we have a skilled striker in Schnell going up against Morales, who's also a solid striker with a decent takedown game. I'll be honest, I would like to pick Schnell, but I just don't trust his chin. If Morales connects, it could be lights out. If not for that, Schnell would easily be my pick. My official pick is Joseph Morales, and on Draftkings, I'll have 20% of my lineups for Morales and 10% for Schnell. I may bet the under here, but if I do, it'll be a small amount, so hedge carefully. Welterweight division, Muslim Salikhov versus Uros Medic. This is another tough one. Salikhov is an older fighter but still carries devastating knockout power, while Medic is the younger, faster striker. I like Salikhov's experience, but his age gives me pause. The wheels will eventually come off, and I just hope it's not this fight. I'll slightly lean toward Muslim Salikhov to take the win, but I'm not overly confident in this pick. On Draftkings, I'll have 25% of my lineups split evenly between both fighters. Lightweight division, Chris Padilla versus Ismail Bonfim. This fight features two strikers with decent ground games. My pick is Chris Padilla to get the win. On Draftkings, I'll have 30% of my lineups on Padilla and 20% on Bonfim. Middleweight division, Christian Leroy Duncan versus Marco Tulio. This fight has fireworks written all over it. I don't see this one going the distance. My pick is Christian Leroy Duncan to take the win. I'll be betting the under, and I'll also parlay Duncan in a few plays. On Draftkings, I'll have 30% of my lineups on Duncan and 15% on Tulio. Featherweight division, Haider Emil versus Jamal Emmers. We've got two strikers here, both with average takedown games, so honestly, I expect more of a stand-up battle than a grappling match. My pick is Haider Emil to edge out the win. I'll also bet the under, as I don't see this one going the full distance. On Draftkings, I'll have 30% of my lineups for Emil and 15% for Emmers. Bantamweight division, Ricky Simon versus Raoni Barcelos. This is an interesting matchup. Barcelos is the sharper striker with strong takedown defense, while Simon is a decent striker with great wrestling. I believe Barcelos will defend well and keep it standing, using his speed advantage to win. My pick is Raoni Barcelos, and on Draftkings, I'll have 30% of my lineups on Barcelos and 10% on Simon. Women's Bantamweight division, Mayra Bueno Silva versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Here we have two strikers. If the fight stays standing, Cavalcanti clearly has the edge in striking. If it goes to the ground, Silva will have the advantage with submissions. My pick is Jacqueline Cavalcanti to get the win. I'll bet the over and include it in a few parlays. On Draftkings, I'll have 35% of my lineups for Cavalcanti and 10% for Silva.
Alright,
So in the heavyweight division, we've got Josh Hokett taking on Max Gimenez. I didn't really have a ton of tape to study here, but from what I've seen, the edge goes to Hokett. My pick is Josh Hokett to take the win. And on Draftkings, I'll have about 35% of my lineups for Hokett and 10% for Gimenez. Next up, in the women's strawweight division, it's Tessia Pennington versus Denise Gomes. Both fighters are great strikers, so this should honestly be a pretty entertaining bout. My pick is Denise Gomes to take the win. On Draftkings, I'll have 30% of my lineups for Gomes and 10% for Pennington. Moving on to bantamweight, we have Miles Johns going up against Daniel Marcos. This is another close fight. Johns is a well-rounded and durable fighter, while Marcos is a fast and technical striker. I'm kind of divided here, but I'll slightly lean toward Miles Johns to take the win. However, I'm not super confident. Marcos definitely has a real shot at pulling it off. On Draftkings, I'll have 25% of my lineups for each fighter. Well, that's my fight card prediction. As you can see, there are a few very unpredictable matchups this week, so I suggest caution when betting. Remember, next week's card looks better for finding clearer edges and more solid cashing opportunities. As always, bet responsibly, and let me know in the comments how your picks did or who you're backing this weekend. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. May the betting gods be with us all this weekend. Good luck.